I'm going to be showing you gray blending with balayage. So here you can see she is mostly gray. I would say probably like 85% gray. So today we're going to balayage her, blend up the blonde. She's let this grow out for about 6-7 months. Today we're going to be using our Product Glove extended cuff length gloves, balayage film, the balayage brush, and the sectioning clips. First, I'm starting off by sectioning the first quadrants out and then working the back of the head as a whole section. Now my client, she doesn't wear her hair up ever. She always keeps it in this bob shape. So typically we do mostly partials throughout the year, maybe one full balayage every, I don't know, probably like once every year and a half or so, but mostly it's just partial balayages. So our first sectioning is just working around the crown of the head. I want to make sure that I go far enough down for my partial that if her hair separates or parts weird in the back, that we covered an area that will be seen. Also, I apologize for this moment of blocking the camera, I shortly realized, and moving on to our next section. So I am using kind of points of brightness because when blending gray and using balayage, I like it to almost look like foils in the sense of placement wise looking like foils, but I love balayage because it just grows out a lot softer. My client can go a lot longer when we use balayage over foils because there's not a harsh line of demarcation as it starts growing. It's just a nice, soft, natural blend as it grows out, which is why she can go 6+ months in between appointments of the gray blending that we do. I'm sure you've noticed by now that I am not saturating all the way through on my sectionings. I'm just surface painting only. I'm not trying to get maximum lift with her. She lifts beautifully on her own, mostly because she is that white hair mixed with her natural color in there. So it lifts to about like a 9 gold. Lifts very beautifully. So we like to maintain that warmth that it lifts to. And you'll see in the end how I kind of gloss her down a little bit. She lives in Florida during the winter months, so it does warm up on its own naturally. But like I said, we like keeping a little bit of that warmth in there because it really keeps her face nice and bright. Complements her complexion really well. Now I'm on the top of the head here. I separated my sectioning to go along that part she has back there. You can kind of see it's pretty distinct, and I worked off of that part underneath my sectioning here as well. Now if you can remember, I did say I'm only surface painting. So right now it looks like I have my bottom section underneath the one I'm painting now, and then the one I'm painting now is right on top of it. So it's a little off of it, and it's gonna fall right over the top and fall beautifully. You can kind of see how that just fell there. And I'm not saturating all the way through, so there's gonna be that hair in between that I didn't touch that's gonna help diffuse the new highlight from the new highlight on top of it. So it's gonna give a really beautiful natural blend and give that softness back in the back of the head where her hair will naturally part, like day 2-3 of it being dirty. Here you can really see my placement and working off of the part in the back of the head. Okay, so we're on the last section on the back of the head here. I am separating my sections out, following her part line still. We're really working off of that part line, like I said before. So it's just gonna fall really beautifully when her hair does part weird. She's got strong calyx back there, and just her hair knows where it wants to fall. So I always tend to work off of those with her, just to make sure that we don't have any weird untouched areas. Now the way I'm painting, like I said before, I like it to look like a highlighted look, but softer, and that's why we chose balayage. But I'm doing more kind of, I guess, liney look, but it's very blended, very soft, and leaving that natural color in between where I place my product really gives a beautiful blended look of her natural and the new blonde that we're adding in. Now we're moving on to the side of her head. Placement wise is diagonal back, going around the hairline here. I want to ensure that we make it nice and bright around the face. Again, still not saturating fully through. I am only surface painting, and it's going to give a beautiful transition once it starts to grow out here. And then we'll paint on top of our section, just in the front. I'm not smushing it through, but it is going to give a little bit more brightness towards the front when I'm painting on top and bottom of the section. Next section here is going to be a diagonal back, but from the back of the section to the front here. So you can see I've got more hair towards the back of the section, less hair towards the front. Here I'm only surface painting because it is, like I said, less hair towards the front of that section. So I don't need to paint the bottom of it to get that brightness there, just the top. And that's going to overlay really beautifully on the section just below it. Now I didn't love how my product just laid down, so I just grabbed my comb quick, comb that product out. That kind of removes it, but also allows my product then to go on smoothly once I go back in to reapply. I am making sure to wrap each section individually with my balayage film because I want to ensure that within that section I do get the maximum lift that I want, but the maximum lift that I want is not full brightness because I'm not fully saturating, just surface painting. But with my surface painting, I want that to be maximum lift. So really covering each section fully with a piece of the balayage film. When I'm grabbing my next section too, I'm not leaving a lot of hair in between each section. I do want to give a lot of brightness, so I'm not leaving a lot of hair out, but I'm leaving enough out to make sure that she's going to have the dimension of her gray hair still in there, because I'm not fully wanting to cover her gray. Remember, I'm gray blending. So I do want to leave that gray hair between, and like as you can see in my sectioning, my points of brightness that I'm painting, I'm also leaving her natural color in between that as well. So we're gonna have plenty of gray hair left out, but also new blonde hair that we are painting on now. Now we are finishing up on the top of her head with this last section here. I've already done the other side of her head. Same exact placement, exactly the same on the other side, so I didn't want to bore you and show both sides. So next I'm moving on to the bangs, which this is, in my opinion, the most important part. So this is the darkest part on her head of her natural color still being there. So we're heavy saturating through this part because I do want the lift to be as even as I can get it everywhere else. A lot of the times it doesn't lift quite as much as where it does everywhere else on the head. That is just because it is darker, and but it tends to be okay because it is underneath her bangs. She does wear her bangs straight down, so it is underneath, not usually shown ever, so it tends to be fine, but we are like heavy saturating. And then just to protect her, I'm laying a piece of the balayage film underneath it just to kind of lift it up so it's not touching your forehead. Next section is a bang piece again, and we aren't leaving much between each section because I do want this to be the brightest area of impact for her blonde. We are painting our last section on the head, the top of the bang piece. So this is where I want to apply the most product I have because it is our last section and I want to make sure that it catches up with the rest. So my heaviest saturation through the entire head is going to be this section here. You can kind of see the amount of product I am applying on my sections. This amount of product I'm using will ensure the maximum lift that I want in this section. You can notice that I kind of keep going back in with my product. It's because I'm layering. I am layering. I can't say it enough. The more you layer, the more lift you're gonna get. So that is what I'm doing. And then I am using my comb to kind of get the product off where I don't want it. Wrapping up our last section, and now I'm gonna show you the top of the head, and you can see the placement then from this angle. Here is our final result. You can see we've got some gray in there. We've also got some blonde. Looking at it, you would never know that she is like 80-85% gray hair. This is gonna grow out super beautifully, super soft, and give her just the right amount of dimension through her natural and the new blonde we added. Here I wanted to kind of rotate her slowly so you can see that dimension between my sectioning and just kind of see that placement and how we added that in through the back and to the front. I hope you enjoyed watching and was able to take away little techniques here and there that I've created for my gray blending using balayage. I wouldn't have been able to create this look the way I wanted, the way I've painted it without the balayage brush and then using the balayage film to separate each section.